As you can see, we have a completed drawing here. Now, we won't get to this part of the drawing until towards the end of this course. I've brought in this drawing as an example to show you how to freeze and thaw layers on your drawing. Now, what you'll notice here is you've got layers that are frozen off in the viewports here. Now, I'm not going to cover that in this particular part of the course. What we're going to do is we're going to go into the Model tab here. Now, the Model tab here, when you freeze and thaw a layer on the drawing, what it does is it actually takes it off the drawing. It doesn't delete it as such or erase it, it freezes it so that it disappears so that you can work on the drawing in a more clarified position, so to speak. So you might zoom in, let's say, on this window area here. So if I just come up here a little bit, you can see that there are some dimensions there. There's one there. And there's one there. You've also got the hatching as well. You might just want to work, though, on the window object itself, which is a block. Now, what I need to do here is I need to freeze the layers that I don't wish to see in this particular view. Now, you'll notice the current layer at the moment is the DIMS layer, the dimensions layer. You cannot freeze the current layer. Watch. If I click here on this dimension like that, yeah, and I want to freeze that layer, watch what happens when I try to freeze the dimensions layer. I can do this on the layer pull down, like this, and there's the DIMS layer there. If I click on that sun symbol there, it cannot be frozen because it is the current layer. AutoCAD will tell you. So if I close that there, and perhaps now go to the Layer Properties Manager, and also try and freeze the DIMS layer, look, there's the green tick, indicating it's the current layer. If I try and freeze it there, it will also tell me it cannot freeze it because it's the current layer. So what I do is I close that, and I have to change the current drafting layer. So I'm going to double click up here next to layer 0 in the Layer Properties Manager. That makes layer 0 the current drafting layer. So if I now close the Layer Properties Manager and come into the drawing, I'm going to utilize the layer pull down now to freeze all the layers that I don't wish to see. Basically, I'm going to freeze every layer apart from this layer here, the Windows layer. Watch. So if I freeze the dimensions layer, click on the sun symbol here, turns to a snowflake, you'll notice the dimensions disappear on the drawing. The building line there, the blue dashed line, I'll freeze that. Like so, it disappears. The hatch layer, let's freeze that. It disappears. And the only other one that needs to go now is the furniture layer, so I'll freeze that, and it disappears. If I hit escape now, all I've got now is my wall and my window to work on. If I do a zoom extents by going to the View tab here and going to the Navigate panel, what you'll find now is there's not much on the drawing anymore. You'll notice that. There's only the layers left on the drawing that are not frozen, that are current. So if I go back to the Home tab now and go to the Layer Properties Manager here, another little trick that I can use now, instead of doing these individually, if I now right-click in this space here and select All, and then just click on one of the frozen layers, it actually thaws them all out for me, and you'll see they all come back on the screen behind the Layer Properties Manager. So if I close the Layer Properties Manager now, you'll see that those layers are all back on the drawing. So it's a useful tool. You can freeze layers for clarity when you've got a very busy drawing. You can thaw layers out again and bring them back into the drawing once you've worked on the drawing with those layers frozen in the first place.